Hello everybody, this is Astocky here and welcome to a video of me recording actually. Basically, I've had a number of questions from a number of different people about what exactly it is that I use to do my recording. So what I thought I would do is show you guys a little bit of what it is that I actually do when I'm doing my recording. So right now I'm doing a screen capture, and so to do screen capture I basically use Cam Studio, and the Cam Studio works fantastic if you have 32-bit Windows XP, but it's not designed for the newer operating system, so it has a number of limitations, which is why I probably wouldn't recommend it as being the best screen recording software that you can use. Sometimes the audio gets a little bit out of sync with Windows 7 64-bit that I have, and I also have an issue where it can't do stereo mixing and capture the game sound and the microphone sound. Now that issue is because I use a USB headset, but I think there's also a problem with the way it captures the 64-bit sound stream. But it gives quite large files, but generally works really well when you want to just capture the screen. As you can see down here, here's all the pieces of software that I pretty much use. So obviously Skype isn't a screen recorder. Fraps is the primary program that I use for just about everything that I do. Basically what I do is I record the game in Fraps, and once that's finished I use ArcSoft Showbiz to do my video, I guess you'd call it my video editing and my initial encoding, because Fraps video is just unbelievably big. It is just ginormous, and because it comes out so large, it basically doesn't do any compression at all, and because it's so large you need to use something to initially recompress it, and at the same time as I do my editing I do that using ArcSoft Showbiz. And the reason I picked that particular application is it's one of the cheapest programs that supports GPU accelerated encoding, and so that was just the perfect option for me. So that is a fantastic piece of software that was quite cheap, around about probably even less than $50 I think is what I ended up paying for it, and that's a bargain. There are other pieces of software that you can use. I actually use XSplit for when I'm doing my video that I live stream, although I haven't done very many yet, but I'm working on it. Now the commercial version of XSplit that I've got actually allows you to do local recording on the fly as well, and I was playing around with it today, and I can actually encode Minecraft so that there's nothing required at all to upload it. It's basically at the same quality I would normally upload, and XSplit can do that on the fly. So that's an excellent option if you don't want to have to worry about using bits of software to re-encode things, and you don't want to have to, buy something like Fraps. You could use XSplit and it would do sort of both jobs at once, plus you're able to live stream with it. So that's a pretty cool piece of software. But again, XSplit and Fraps and ArcSoft are all pay software. So lots of people have been asking, what can you do for free? Well, for starters, this Cam Studio that I use is a completely free piece of software. You don't always get, you can see that I'm recording at about 24 frames per second. Due to some limitations with the way the Windows screen updates, I'll just bring up my task manager here. You can see that right now I'm basically using no CPU at all, but it can't record any faster. That's an issue with the way Windows refreshes the screen, and because Cam Studio just takes the Windows screen, you can basically never get a better frame rate than that. It'll be absolutely smooth at 24, but it just can't do any faster than 24. And Cam Studio, I don't think I can show you the options at the moment. Actually I can, there you go. So I'm using the lossless codec that comes with it. It's set to do a playback rate of 30 frames per second, and we'll go to options, audio options for the microphone. It's set to basically record wave at half CD quality. So that's pretty much exactly what you need when you're doing recording of your voice. So that's basically the settings that I use, and you can see I've been recording for around about 5 minutes now. I think this is 300 seconds to be 5 minutes, and it's about 400 meg. So it's large, but it's pretty much lossless, so it's very good quality video, and then you can use something else to re-encode it. So the question that comes up next is, well, what would I choose to use to re-encode that video if I wanted something free? And the answer to that is, allow me to bring this up. I use, or at least I used to use when I was doing my free things, a program called Virtual Dub. And now this program is absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to shrink it down to the size of the window so you guys can see it. What it does is it allows you to import any AVI video. It only works with AVI. You can then append AVI segments, so you can add more than one video together. You can't actually add things like pictures and things to it, so it has some very limited ability to actually just kind of amend AVIs together. But then you can use video, and you can go through and you can add those things together, and then you can run it through and you can compress it. You can compress the audio, and basically any codec or filter that you have installed on your system will work with Virtual Dub. So that's a fantastic piece of software that allows you to do really good quality AVI encoding, and it's free. Now the next program that I use, because basically what I do is after I come out of ArcSoft Showbiz, a 20-minute video comes out at about 3 gigabytes. So Fraps, a 20-minute video comes out at about 20 gigabytes. Like I said, huge. Then ArcSoft Showbiz re-encodes it down until it's about 2 gigabytes. Then I use this particular program here called Media Coder. Now Media Coder is another free piece of software, and it just happens to be the only free piece of software I've found that can actually use the Intel GPU encoder if you have an Intel CPU that's free, and it is like absolutely fast. It takes that's something I was messing around with earlier. Basically it takes a video that is, say, a 20-minute video, and on my hardware it takes about 2 minutes to re-encode it from 2 gig down to about 400 meg using the settings that I use, which you can see them right there. I set it for quality, set everything else to auto, and just tell it to go. So that is, I just can't believe I didn't find that piece of software earlier. Unfortunately it doesn't work with ATI graphics cards, but it does work with the CUDA encoder if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. So again, if you wanted to do video encoding, you could potentially use Virtual Dub, because it has an option, if I can find it, YouTube Movies Virtual Dub. It has an encoding here with the video that you can just say stream copy the video. So then you can basically take 2 video snips that you've recorded, stick them together, and then not encode them at all. And then you could use this particular piece of software, which is Media Coder, for free, just encode that incredibly quickly, which I think is an excellent piece of software. There's some other bits of software that I use that aren't directly related to, I guess, what I do, but they're things that can really help out in some circumstances, and those particular things are this program here called AVI Demux. This is another free piece of software, and hopefully it should open up pretty quick. There we go. And it allows you to do a number of different things with videos. It allows you to also do appending, although I've had some issues with appending certain kinds of video with this. But if you want to just do appending, this one you append it, but then it actually requires you to not just copy the video because you're doing appending, it actually requires you to encode it. And the encoding is not as fast as using Media Coder, so I guess that's one of those options you can weigh up. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to re-encode audio. You can go up here and you can save the audio track or save the video track to kind of strip the audio off a video if you don't want to have that kind of thing. You can pick your format of how you stick it together. You can also take a video that has no audio and then you can add an audio track to it, which is good. You can also do some post-processing, some filters, so you can resize video if it's not the size that you want it to be. You can make a whole lot of different changes to it really quite well. The other thing, when you go to audio, let's go to MP3 as an example. You can then go to, whoops, I think I clicked those buttons a bit too fast and I don't think it's liking me right now. Let's try again. I haven't actually imported a video. Let's try and import something. That'll do. I've probably gone and done a really bad demonstration. Oh no, there we go. I haven't locked it up. I thought I might have just locked it up. So what you can do now is you can go filters, and you can change the frame rate if you want to convert the frame rate to something different. You can do gain if the audio comes out a little bit quiet when you record it, and that's something I used to do with every single video that I did when I was using my old microphone. They always came out too quiet, and rather than amp it up to like 10,000% in the sound recorder, which ruins the quality, I used to do this, which you can say add an automatic gain, and if you put 3 in there, that just basically doubles it. The other thing you can do is you can resample it. If you've recorded the audio at say 2250 and you want it to be 4100, you can do that. You can also remix it, so you can take it from mono to make it stereo. If it was stereo, you can split it up differently. You can also do dynamic range compression, and basically what DRC does is it takes the really loud things and the really quiet things and kind of brings them together so everything's at a bit more of an even volume. So not that you would use it for this, but say for example you sneezed, you could use this to kind of bring down the volume of the sneeze while still keeping everything else at a similar volume. You also can shift the audio by milliseconds, so if for some reason there's a little bit of a out of sync between the start of the audio and the start of the video, you can use this shift audio to kind of move it around so that it lines up. So that's that particular program, and again it's a very, very powerful program that lets you do lots of things. The other thing that you'll see in the center of the screen there is Free Sound Recorder. Now I have it, and I'm going to try and find the icon because I don't know where it's gone. My desktop has reshuffled itself. Why is it you can never find something when you're looking for it in a hurry? There it is. Audacity. So all of my editing of audio files I do in Audacity. Now some people use Audacity for doing recording of audio as well. I actually use this particular program here called the Free Sound Recorder, and noting the name, it's free. The reason I use this is this has lots and lots of options, and you can see here I have it set to encode to MP3 on the fly at the quality that I like. The other thing that you can do with this that you can't do with Fraps is you can set up hotkeys to start and stop the recording, so that you can basically minimize the out of sync between when you start recording the audio and when you start recording the video. So this is another really powerful program that I've been using occasionally when I've been having some issues with Fraps not recording the audio for me, and I've been basically using this to overdub. So that's pretty much a list of the things that I use. If you guys have any specific questions, I'm always happy to help. Just post something in the comment. The other thing that I will do is, I know that I have used Fraps. I used to when I was recording for free. I used to record with Bandicam. Now Bandicam is an excellent piece of game recording software, but I was having a lot of issues with it with my video card on the 64-bit system, so I was just having lots of problems with it crashing and not working properly, or it would record for a while and then something would happen and it would corrupt the whole video. So I've stopped using Bandicam, but I know lots of other people have had lots of success with it. It gives you the same kind of options as Fraps, but it gives you smaller file sizes. So again, here's Fraps. The other thing with Bandicam is Bandicam lets you record with a watermark up the top for free for 10 minutes. And so it's basically the best software I can find that does that. Fraps is just, it's the be all and end all of screen recording. It records really, really big files, though, like I said earlier. So if you don't have a lot of hard drive space or you don't want giant files, Fraps is probably not the program for you. But in terms of quality of the recording videos on the fly, it's really hard to beat. Now there's another thing that I want to talk about as well. Is this particular program here. Now I didn't want to go to the pay version, but Microsoft Expression Encoder 4 Pro is another program that you can get. You can basically get it as a free download, and if you don't pay for the download, basically what it gives you is it gives you pretty much all of these different features. It doesn't give you GPU accelerated encoding, and it also gives you, I believe it gives you a small watermark, and it can only record for 10 minutes. So again, but it is a really powerful piece of software that also includes a built-in editor. So once you've recorded your video, you can then do some editing. And the editing that it kind of comes with leads me on to the next piece of software, which is Windows Live Movie Maker. Now, lots of people use this particular piece of software. I've never really liked it because all the software that I use only works with AVI videos, and basically when this edits video together, it pretty much puts it into WMV. There's nothing wrong with WMV, it just didn't work with the software that I was using. But lots of people have had lots of success of using this in replace of Virtual Dub as a video editor and video encoding piece of software. The only thing I would suggest to you is if you're going to use this particular piece of software or Virtual Dub or anything else like that, set a really high bit rate for the initial editing and encoding, and then import it into something like Media Coder, and then use that to really compress it up, because it allows you to change so many settings and pick whatever it is that you want as the output. And for those of you that don't have hardware encoding for the GPU, I would suggest going to video, picking the format as H.264, and then picking the X.264 encoder, because it's pretty much the best way to do it. And then you can pick, do it for quality, and you can get some quite small file sizes that still have amazing quality of the video that you get. I generally use 2500, and programs like Media Expresso and some other things, they struggle to match the same video quality using twice the bitrate of 5000. And bitrate relates directly to file size, not quality. So you really want to try and reduce this, but still maximize the quality you get. So, like I said, that's pretty much everything I had today. I just wanted to go through a little bit about how I do my recording, and I guess the ways that you could do recording for free if you wanted to choose to do that. Like I said, I've chosen to buy all the software that I use because it's the best way to get really good quality software and good support, and still be able to do on-the-fly recording and hardware encoding of your video, which, I mean, to go from taking 10 minutes to encode a 10-minute video to doing it in a minute, for me that was worth the money. So if you have any further questions about anything I mentioned today, or anything that I didn't mention that you'd like to know about, please post a comment on my channel and I'll get back to you and answer as soon as I can. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Astocky out.